Hello everyone, this is Nisha and welcome to the third episode of our Loving Doha podcast.
And it's Sada and we're here again, so stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. So I have a quick thing to tell you. Have you gotten sick?
Wow, what a question. No, I haven't this week, but a couple of weeks ago I was really sick, but this week I was good to go, and which is why I decided to make the most of it.
It must be nice. So what did you do?
Well, I did a lot of things. I was living dangerously, Sarah, if you ask me. I am such a stickler for my schedule and going to bed really early and waking up at 5 a.m. But I decided that this week, something's got to change. So I was invited to visit a new restaurant in town. It's Azerbaijani and it's in Bakra. And it was such a beautiful ride to go to that place. It's very coastal, it's very quaint and very cozy. The beach was spectacular, the food was amazing, so I had a really good time. And then later this week I also had a wander at Cityscape because I love looking at homes and houses, and so it's really nice to see what the city has in plans for us. Like you have a new development from UDC, the Jivan, which looks stunning, and it's from the same people who brought us the Pearl, and now we both live at the Pearl, so we know it's
Pearl's
really
amazing.
awesome.
So I can't wait to see that.
Yeah, and then we also have SEEF, the SEEF project by Qatari DR, and it's so modern, state of art, and it has a new take to sustainable living. And it's really important for us at Loving Doha. We're all about communities, we're all about people. And homes are, a natural extension to that. Mm-hmm. So it's really nice to see what Qatar has planned for us, and all these new communities coming in. There will be a lot of diversity in this town.
So jumping right into the episode, we'll be speaking about the announcements regarding the 2025 vacations, 2 anonymous posts about nannies and stalkers, women feeling safe in Qatar, and how an influencer said Qatar really changed her fashion sense. Moving on to the announcements of the 2025 holidays in Qatar. So this is for anyone who wants to travel, or you want to just know when you're going to stay home and relax. Here are the dates for the upcoming holidays. So February 11th.
National Sports Day.
Yes, which is, I just moved to Qatar.
Yeah.
I've never heard of this being a national holiday anywhere. So this is really exciting.
Actually, come to think of it, I don't think we have that in Singapore.
Mm-hmm. I don't think we have that in Dubai either. So this is really fun and interesting. So it's a public holiday that encourages everyone to start having healthy and active lifestyles. So I guess mark your calendars for the second Tuesday in February.
Amazing.
And then we have Eid al-Fitr, which is my favorite holiday because it ends Ramadan.
Yes.
And it's just such a beautiful feeling to wake up the next morning after having just such a holy month to finally have a cup of tea in the morning.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, or biryani for brunch.
Exactly. It's just your range is so wide of what you can have. And then there's Eid al-Adha, which is on the 6th to the 8th of June. Keep in mind both dates for both these holidays or anything Islamic related are not sure because we depend on the moon. So once we see the moon sightings, that's kind of when we know when it's going to happen. But right now, these are kind of a ballpark.
Gotcha.
So the 6th to the 8th of June 2025 is Eid al-Adha, which is a celebration held during the Islamic month of Dhul Hijjah. So this is for people who are not going to Hajj. You can still have your first 9 days of, being super special, super religious. So I love that. And then the 18th of December, drum roll, is Qatar National Day. Yeah. And I want to hear from Nisha. She has lived in Qatar, and I want to know, what is your favorite story of Qatar National Day?
Well, Qatar's National Day, the 18th of December, is really special for me because it's also my son's birthday. So we always have a blast, and I can't forget 18th of December in December 2022. When Qatar was hosting the World Cup.
Wow.
And we had the wonderful opportunity to go and, be part of the finals.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
On his birthday?
On his birthday.
What
we
a
were
great
there,
gift.
in the center of all the action. Argentina versus France. It was a magical evening.
Wow.
And I don't think Karan will ever forget that. So it was such a wonderful evening and wonderful experience.
And what an amazing memory. My parents used to tell me when I was younger, my birthday's on January 2nd, they would say that the fireworks were for me. So now the fireworks are for your son.
Exactly.
You should tell him that. This celebration is always going to be for him as well as Qatar.
Yes.
So that's super great. So moving on to two Reddit posts. So the first one is a nanny post.
Oh.
And, you know,
Oh.
we both personally, mostly Nisha, has a lot to kind of say about that.
Oh, I could write a book.
So this person went on an anonymous rant on Reddit saying that she can't find good nannies, and even the agencies kind of treat the nannies like washing machines. She was like, is there a way for me to get to know more about this nanny? And this agency was like, try them for 4 days, and if you don't like them, bring them back. And she was like, what? So she kind of had a horrible experience, saying like one of the nannies she had was a smoker. She has kids, little kids.
That's a deal breaker for me.
Yep, and like a bunch of other things. Like one of her other nannies called her dirty because she was putting her clothes outside to dry.
Oh my gosh.
So she had a really bad experience with that. So what about you? Do you have any?
Oh my God, Sarah, I have so many nanny stories, but every country is different. I mean, in Singapore, we have very stringent rules, and hiring a nanny is definitely a mixed box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get, right? And at least in Qatar, I feel that the option of having someone over for a trial, I think that is, a sensible option, because having somebody come and live in your house, you will need a certain adjustment to make, and the other person also needs to be able to make an adjustment, and not everybody, you're not for everyone.
Yeah, 100%.
So it's really important that you get a good fit, and you have somebody who can, blend well in your home. And so that's really, for me, I've just given up, I have to say. I've just become super independent. I have my appliances that I absolutely adore. and I have my trusted dishwasher. I have 4 vacuum cleaners. So I really have become independent and
a little bit of a germaphobe.
Yeah, thank you. It is flu season after all. I have to be, guarded.
Yeah, definitely after this visit, you're gonna need to go home and really wash all your clothes from my germs that are gonna be everywhere. But she was also talking about in this post how there needs to be more regulation. She was like, I agree. It's too much. Like there's people not meeting her needs, and it's just it's scary as well. You're putting your trust into another human being to take care of humans you made. So
Yeah, absolutely. There was another post on Facebook on a Qatari women's community on Facebook where the admin of a group said that it's really important to not bring in nannies that are not from agencies, because you need to know who to trust with your, for your kids. You can't just bring anyone to your house. So it's really important to work with a trusted, reliable agent.
100%, I agree. Moving on to a stalker post.
Why?
A person commented saying that they're looking for some suggestions regarding a stalker because their friend's being stalked. And I was like, what?
In Qatar?
Yes, in Qatar. So some of the comments were obviously really weird, but there was one where this person, I guess, has dealt with this exact same situation. It was like, hey, you go on the Matrash app, here there's a section for it, blah, 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 and then report it to the police and you're good to go. Because we all know, GCC, they don't stand for nothing. Anything negative, anything bad, they have your back, which I love. It's so much safety,
absolutely,
so much security. It's just perfect to be in this country, because God forbid if you do stumble upon a weirdo, they will take
as
the
we
weirdo.
all do.
Yeah, they will take the weirdo away, so we're good, So
and in many ways, I feel like living in the GCC, living in Qatar, right? I mean, the safety quotient is really high there,
Yeah.
high up there. Even Singapore, I feel that even Singapore, it's really safe, but in Singapore we say low crime doesn't mean no crime.
Yeah.
But in Qatar, I feel that we are super safe, we feel super secure, and there is that comfort
Yeah.
that we are looked after, right?
100% looked after and well taken care of, for sure. And now let's move on to women feeling safe in Qatar.
That was a great thing.
Yeah. So basically, this influencer talks about how it's crazy for her to compare her home country to Qatar, because in her home country, you know, you have to be very mindful of what you're doing, what you're wearing. Like you can't be blinged out. You know, you have to be kind of in the right headspace of walking at night as a woman. No way. I would never be able to do that in America. The thought of it scares me.
That's true.
But here she was walking in with her wallet in her hand, her golden necklace, her iPhone, her headphones. You know, she's just walking, taking a nice walk at like, what was it, 8, 9 p.m. at night, feeling so safe. And when you moved here, was this originally a culture shock for you?
Actually, yeah, because in Singapore, we are very cautious as a nation, right? I mean, obviously, we lock everything up. We make sure that we don't bling up too much. But I mean, of course, Singapore is really, really safe. And even if you did, that's totally cool. But the thing that really got me here in Qatar was that you can actually leave your home unlocked and it's completely fine. You can leave your car unlocked, and if you left your phone on a food court table, nobody steals it, nobody takes it.
Yeah.
And even Uber drivers and pretty much everyone, they're so sweet. Like if you lose something, it almost always comes back to you.
100%.
So and you know, going back to Singapore after being in the Middle East for so long, that was a culture shock because I had to get into the habit of locking everything up, which I had completely forgotten living here, to be honest.
I completely get that, but the opposite way, like I feel like I'm the type of person coming from America.
Lock everything.
I
girl.
lock everything, like double check, you know, like the hatch is on.
The pepper spray.
But there's also this sense of whenever I land in Qatar or any GCC country, there's this just huge weight lifted off my shoulders. And I don't know how to explain this to people who haven't lived or visited the GCC. And it's amazing because in uni, we leave our whole Apple ecosystem, our wallets, whatever. We go down, we're gone for like 2 or 3 hours. We come back, nothing is touched. Like, unbeatable. I love the GCC. And finally, how a Qatar influencer spoke about how Qatar actually changed her fashion sense. So an influencer, Nisha, was speaking about how being around modest women in Qatar has completely changed her stance on how she dresses. Like she even went as far to delete Instagram pictures on her Instagram of her in bikinis, of her like this, of her like that, just because she looked at these modest girls and she was like, you're so feminine, you're so beautiful, you know?
Yeah.
So do you relate to like this?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a little bit old-fashioned, I must say, Sarah. You know, I like you know, to be elegantly dressed, and I like the fact that you can look beautiful and you can look graceful when you have you know, modest clothes on.
100%.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I think you can be elegant, you can be beautiful, you can be graceful, even if you actually dress modestly and you don't have to wear revealing clothes to make an impact.
100%.
So going back to Singapore was a bit of a shock to me, I have to say, because when I looked around, you know, everybody was dressed in shorts.
Yeah.
Everybody was dressed in really summer clothing, and I was not used to it anymore. So a lot of my friends kind of like made fun of me as to how modest I had become and how judgy I had become. But it was like, you know, it's a lifestyle and you get used to it.
100%. She also mentioned the same exact points you were saying, how, because she's originally from Costa Rica. So when she went back, everyone's, you know, dressed the way that they want to dress and stuff. And she wasn't saying, nor we are saying, that it's a bad thing.
Yeah.
But she just kind of understood, like, wow, look at the culture difference between one country versus the next. And it's beautiful to see because nobody's forcing anyone to do anything.
Yeah.
Everyone has their own free choice, free will to do whatever they want to do, and their choice always turns back to dressing very modestly, because we're kind of in that era, like this generation of like old money vibes, and old money means dressing modestly.
Yeah.
So if you want to hop on a trend, come live in Qatar. Come on.
So thank you for joining us this week, guys. And tell us what you love. Tell us what you like. Tell us what's inspiring you. Keep the conversation going. Catch us on all our social channels. And until then, we will see you next week.
Sending you lots of love from Love in Doha. Bye-bye.